Are aliens actually out there? Somebody asked me this question last night and it really intrigued me. I mean, I'm not going to say that I delved like super deep into the query. I'm going to be honest. I did like a light reading and I also like used like information that I already have in my head. But I will also be soliciting y'all's participation because I want to hear y'all's perspective on the idea of are aliens actually out there? I want y'all to tell me what you think. You know what I mean? And in the meantime, I will also be, I want to say, playing some of the songs that I've written. That way we can, keep a vibe going. And these are, again, songs that I've written. So there should be no royalty or copyright strike on these songs. Uh, Lately things have been crazy. We've been off the deep end. Just wonder if I'm still your favorite. But definitely, we will jump into gear right away. I'm actually trying to play a song that I wrote. Um, oh yeah, this song is actually pretty good. I think Good Vibes is really good. Oh yeah, this is down, so I gotta turn it up. But that's not what I want to play. But we're about to jump into the presentation, y'all. I think God damn, I was trying to find. Oh, I can play this song. This song is pretty good. You've been knocked down, bruised and bleeding. Yes, sir. But your heart keeps. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let me say welcome to the live. Still breathing. I think I need to work on a few things. Let me say welcome to the live. We are looking at. Every star's a story told. Gotta hit that dodge. So I want to let y'all know that we are looking at the topic: are aliens actually out there? I did do a little bit of reading on this topic just so I could shed some light on the idea. But I also want to hear y'all's perspective on this for real. Welcome to everybody on the live. We are looking at the topic: are aliens actually out there? I want to hear y'all's perspective on it. Alrighty. So the question is being posed: are aliens actually out there, y'all? I want to hear your perspective on this idea. Let me say welcome to everybody on the live. If you've not yet subscribed, please hit that subscription button and let's dive right into it. So tonight we are diving into one of the biggest questions humanity has ever asked. One of the biggest questions humanity has ever asked: are we alone in the universe? Have you ever considered that question? Are we alone in this gigantic universe? If you think that we are alone in the universe, I want you to type alone in the chat. If you think that we are alone in the universe, type alone in the chat. Let me say welcome to everybody on the live. Feel free to hit that subscription button if you've not yet subscribed. But if you think that we are alone, I want you to type alone. But if we're not alone, type not alone. You got to stay focused, y'all. So, if you do look at what's happening in the world, the truth is governments are releasing UFO files. Scientists are discovering new planets every year, and yet there is still no confirmed proof of aliens. All right, y'all? Feel the thunder. So, if you believe that there are aliens out there, hit aliens in the comments. Let me hear y'all. I want to know who believe that we are not alone in the universe. In disguise, you're the phoenix. Watch you fly. Uh-huh. Vals is saying, damn aliens. Damn aliens. A lot of people have claimed to have seen aliens. But within this digital age where we got cameras all over, the question is, why haven't we gotten like a clear footage of these guys. You know what I mean? So I want to say by the end of this live, you're going to know what science actually says. We're going to look at what science actually says on the fact of aliens, what NASA has confirmed, and whether aliens are actually fact, fiction, or just undiscovered realities. Alrighty. By the end of this live, we're gonna go through all the, I want to say, all the available information on this topic. Alrighty. But thank y'all for coming through. Feel free to hit that subscription button. We are about to dive into that presentation, y'all. Close now, don't let go. The fight's not over. And this song was written by me too, just to let y'all know. Here's another great song that I wrote, but let's go. So we have like 4 segments that we're about to look at on this live, y'all. So again, thank everybody for coming through. Segment 1, what science actually says about this particular topic. Let's start with the facts, not opinions. We're going to dive into facts, not opinions. All right, y'all. So according to NASA, one of the most trusted scientific, well, I don't want to say one of the most trusted scientific organization in the world, but a lot of people think that NASA is reputable. So I will say that already. So according to NASA, um, there are not, they have not found any credible evidence of extraterrestrial life. So NASA is saying that we have not found any credible evidence of extraterrestrial life. I mean, people might say that NASA is lying, you know what I mean? And this is highly confidential and secretive. So NASA could be lying, but according to their website, they have not found any actual evidence of extraterrestrial life. And there is no proof that UFOs are alien technology. So we normally say, oh, UFOs are alien. There's actually no proof that UFOs are actual alien technologies. If y'all don't agree with me, I want you to type it in the comment section already. Type it in the comment section. Thank y'all for coming through again. Feel free to hit that subscription button. We are looking at the topic, are aliens actually out there? And if you believe that there's aliens out there, type aliens. Like we have Val typed aliens. So Val believe that they're aliens. And if you do have any encounters, feel free to type it in the chat and I will read it aloud for y'all. Alrighty. Still unaware. Every heartbeat synced to lies we told. Every promise felt like fool's gold. Velvet touch, but a violent fade. What's up, Trey? How you doing, bro? In the silence, I still hear your truth like thunder under silver roofs. Saw you hid so behind. Let me turn this down. So we do have somebody saying that they have had an encounter with aliens. That is Mark Witt. So Mark Witt, go ahead with that story. What happened on that particular encounter with a supposed alien? I want to hear what you got. So did it hurt when you fell off, when you fell from heaven? Me? I mean, I was never in heaven, you know. I was never in heaven, my friend. So I have no real answer to that question. I mean, it doesn't apply to me. But you said that you had an encounter with aliens. So go ahead and give me. Hey, thank you all for the likes. Go ahead and give me that encounter that you had. And don't make shit up. We want actual facts on this discussion. Every look became a warning. Every touch was storm and lightning. I'm drowning in the noise you made. Woo! When you said nothing, you betrayed. Your voice were loud, it was crystal clear. I heard when you said you don't need me here. You tossed me down. So Trey's saying that they have a TV show about it. They have TV shows about a lot of things too that are actually fictional. But I also want to make a disclaimer, not because there has not been any evidence for the fact doesn't negate that it is not likely to happen. You know what I mean? So there's no evidence from most of the scientific community, but that doesn't mean aliens don't exist. I want to say that. Alrighty. How I met, how I how I met your mother. I mean, you're definitely not my mom's type. You know what I mean? So we are about to jump into segment two. Why science or scientists still believe that it is possible that aliens might be out there. We're going to jump into that right now. So here's where things get interesting, y'all. The universe is massive. We believe that, well, not believe, we know that the universe is massive. Our galaxy alone has hundreds of billions of stars. Many of those stars have planets, and and some of those planets are in what scientists call the habitable zone, meaning that there are conditions similar to Earth. So the habitable zone simply means that there are places in the universe that it is highly possible that life might exist there. You know what I mean? So that's the habitable zone. Scientists are actively searching for biosignatures, and biosignatures technically mean that they're trying to find if possibly that life is out there. Um, Let me turn this down. Let me turn this down. Let me turn this down just a little bit. There's also what we call techno signatures, which is signs of advanced civilization. So they're looking for biosignatures, trying to see if possibly there's any sign of life. They're looking for techno signatures, which also is looking to see if there's any advanced civilization. So while we don't have proof of either bio signatures or techno signatures, it still doesn't negate the fact that it is highly possible that we might not be alone in the universe. So we do have what we call probability. You know what I mean? There's a probability that there might be aliens, and there's also a probability that there might not be any. But again, if y'all believe that aliens exist, type it in the chat. I want y'all to say aliens in the chat. All right, y'all? So we've looked at the probability. We've looked at the fact that NASA and other scientific communities have not substantiated the fact that there are aliens. Uh, we've looked at the fact that they are actively trying to search for biosignatures and technosignatures, and still they have come up empty-handed. Again, not because we haven't found anything doesn't mean that something is not there. It could be that we are looking in the wrong direction. That's one possible option. So we got XX Danny saying about life on planets. What do you think, Danny? Do you think that aliens actually exist, my friend? Uh, what's this? I'm trying to fix it. Trying to fix it. Trying to fix it, bro. The hell is going on? How can you guys not hear me? Let me do this poll. Can you hear me? All right, let's do a poll. I want to see. Start. All right, I want to know if, can you guys hear me? Can you hear me? I can hear you. All right, Trace and you can hear me. 100%, bro. Shit, that's what's up. You guys can hear me. All righty, beautiful. All righty, hell yeah. All right, beautiful. I got you. All right, so I want to know, has anybody ever experienced like, I want to say like a, or have had a alien encounter? Has anybody ever had an alien encounter? Hey, what's up, Mark? Mark Invisible, how you doing? So let's continue with the presentation. Now that you guys can actually hear me. Let us continue. So now we're looking at segment 3, which is UFOs, UAPs, and government reports. UAPs basically refers to unidentified anomalous phenomena. So we don't know what this actually is. It is still anomalous. We actually really don't know what's going on, as opposed to unidentified flying object, which is UFO, which is unidentified flying object. So let's get into it. I've seen videos on TikTok and on Instagram showing where. Wait, I think my shit is dying, y'all. Let me charge this shit. This shit is dying. Let me charge this shit. My bad. Let me charge this shit, y'all. Let me charge this. I'm coming, y'all. I'm coming. Appreciate y'all for coming through though, for sure. Remember, hit that subscription button, y'all. Follow the page. Follow the page. All right. So now that's good. Beautiful. My system was dying, so we got it fixed. We got it fixed. We got it fixed. So Danny's saying, which is the light of a UFO? Which is the light of a UFO? I'm not understanding the question. So I saw some 3 green lights in the night. So I mean, even if you saw 3 green lights in the night, we can't jump to conclusion and say, oh yeah, this is UFO. We need empirical data. You know what I mean? Something that we can test, something that we can broadcast maybe to the world to say, yeah, yeah, I'm not from planet Earth, I'm from a distant galaxy. We haven't gotten that concrete evidence yet to say that UFOs actually exist. But if anybody else has seen like a crazy flashing light, let me know. Let me know. I want to hear y'all's crazy stories. Okay, about area. So Area 51. I've heard stories about Area 51. Again, we have to remember that even the government fabricates stories, and sometimes they fabricate stories to mislead people. I'm not saying Area 51 is a misrepresentation or a fabrication, because I don't know a lot. I've not delved deep into that particular research, but I will, and I'll come back and we will talk about it. But it is true. Like, for example, a lot of people don't believe that in 1969, when the so called moon landing happened, a lot of people don't believe that shit, bro. Like, they're like, how the hell did that really happen in an age where, I mean, technology was, it was like barely on the cusp. Like, you had black and white TV. We didn't even have cell phones. You know what I mean? Like, how the hell did y'all put a rocket into outer space and land that shit? So a lot of so-called events are I want to say a lot of events that have defined Earth's history. A lot of people believe that it was fabricated. You know what I mean? So Area 51 could be within that bracket. I'm not sure. I will definitely do my research, but what I can say for a fact is we cannot in any way, because we saw a small flashing light, say, oh yeah, that was a UFO or it was a UFA. You know what I mean? We don't know what it is. We can't say, oh yeah, it's alien. We actually don't know. And we have to be honest with ourselves. You know what I mean? That's how we create myths by stating things that actually did not happen. So US government and NASA have studied these seriously. At least that's what they told us. And here's what they found. Here's the actual data that we've seen so far. Most sites are ordinary objects. So sometimes they're like, oh yeah, that was a UFO. It was an ordinary object, my friend, like balloons, aircraft, or not, or it could. It was sometimes just a natural phenomena. Some cases remain unexplained due to lack of data. So some cases are still unexplained, and the inexplicability of those cases, we should definitely, I want to say, study them to see what they actually reveal. But the ones that we have seen and we know that it was just like a natural phenomena, it was just a natural occurrence. You know what I mean? We have to be intellectually honest and throw those out. What a lot of people do is they try to build a hype around this mythical idea so they can gain followers and shit like that. You know what I mean? But we have to be honest with ourselves, intellectually honest. And that is one thing that is lacking within the scholastic society. A lot of people are not scholastically honest. A lot of people are really dishonest, y'all, like really dishonest, only because they want to gain popularity. So a lot of people have become popular by telling lies. Have y'all heard the story? I think this happened in Arizona or Texas, where there was like a group of friends that came together and they drew like a alien face in a cornfield, like they burnt it, and then somebody got upside, and they were like, "Oh shit, aliens were actually here! Look at what they did. They left a message for us." And it was just some group of friends just running a prank. But the hysteria of the idea, it's easy to go viral. Like, oh yes, aliens. But nah, people fabricate shit, my friends. And I'm saying within this particular time that we're living in, we have to be scholastically honest about these topics. If we don't know, we don't know. And it doesn't hurt if you don't know. You know what I mean? But I know that we are living in an information age, and people hate to say I don't know because of the information age in which we're living. Not all of that are, I know not all of it is true. That's what I'm saying. Not everything is true and not everything is false. But what is happening is that a lot of that which is false, people are now magnifying the falsehood and presenting it like truth because they can gain popularity. They can sometimes even make money from it. So they magnify it because they're not scholastically honest. They're not honest individuals. You know what I mean? And all I ask for within any scholastic society, whether you're a theologian, a scientist, you're a teacher, be honest. And that's the only way we can grow. Because if we can get rid of the fluff and we're like, oh, this doesn't work, then we can actually focus on what works and what is happening. Again, thank y'all for coming through and being on the live. Again, feel free to hit that subscription button. I will be going live very often, looking at different topics. But let's continue. So, in a lot of these cases, I will say they're unexplained. A lot of these cases there is still lack of data. So there is no evidence linking them to extraterrestrial life. And there's a Washington Post, I can do one from NASA. If you guys want me to put it on the screen so y'all can see it. So, and that the moon has water. So I've heard of that. My teacher told me that NASA saw alien on Mars. Again, bro, it is really up to you if you want to believe that they actually went to Mars. Again, I have my stance on that. I really don't think that they went to Mars, my friend. I really don't think that they went to the moon. Again, that is just me. And I will be reading more on the topic. But so far, what I've read, common sense tells me that it is really highly unlikely. It might be possible, but it's more like highly unlikely. That's what I think. You know what I mean? Again, teachers. I will say this about teachers because I've been to university and I've seen people who are training to become teachers. They are given a curriculum, and sometimes a lot of these teachers they don't read outside of the curriculum that they have been given to educate themselves about what is actually beyond the scope of information that they got. And so all they do is parrot or repeat what the system wants them to repeat. So we also have to be, I want to say, somewhat having discernment when it comes on to information. The moon cannot have water due to it having almost no atmosphere. If there was, it would evaporate. I mean, that's a salient point. That is a salient point, Pigeon. That is a salient point. But again, I'm simply stating that we have been left in the dark on a lot of things. A lot of things are still just, I want to say, how do you put it? I don't want to say a farce in a sense, but a lot of things have been misconstrued. You know what I mean? In order to, I want to say, fool the populace. So we have to figure out how do we substantiate information? How do we know when something is credible as opposed to it just being a hoax, or people are just trying to formulate something just to gain followers or get views on a particular topic. Again, thank you to everybody who has passed through this live. Feel free to hit that subscription button. I will be going live as often as possible, and we will be discussing a lot of these topics, y'all, for sure. So again, back to the discussion, y'all. So far, there has been UAPs, which is unidentified anomalous phenomena. There is a lack of data as it relates to some of these, I want to say, aircrafts that we've seen. Like it has not been substantiated to be UPAs or UFOs. So there is no evidence linking these phenomena to extraterrestrial life. But when it comes on to human beings, what we like to do, we hate not knowing. Humans hate not knowing, and what we do, we make that jump of faith. We make that faith leap in order to fill in the blanks. That's just how human beings are. The darkness is there. We don't know what's beyond it, but we like to speculate, because if we don't, we get uncomfortable. And sometimes that level of speculation might lead to falsehood. You know what I mean? So that is what happens in a lot of these so-called UFO cases. Again, if anybody think that they've had like a experience with UFOs, I want to hear that experience. So feel free to type it in the chat and I will read it aloud so that everybody can hear it. So when people say the government confirmed aliens, that's not accurate. I just want to let y'all know. It's really not accurate when they say that the government have confirmed aliens. It is really not accurate. Again, you have to understand the role of information and how it shapes your mind. So whenever you watch like a advertisement, it is structured in such a way that it encapsulates your mind for you to make a decision. And within this era that we're in, where we have like multiple opinions, everybody has their own truth. You know what I mean? It is very difficult for us to come to a consensus on what is actually true. And this is actually the plan of the system. Because if we can divide the mind on simple ideologies, then it's easy for them to keep us divided. As opposed to us having a system to substantiate information, then we can say to the system that what you're telling me is bullshit. You know what I mean? And we need that in order to all out bullshit. Of such, people are like, why the hell is so much crazy shit going on and people seemingly seem fine with it? It's because of the way how information is being construed and twisting our minds, and we cannot, I want to say, hold to a firm ground of what is actually true. And water will float in space, and with how large the universe is, they could be anywhere, and we would be another rock to them. That is correct. Hence why we're saying that we've looked at biosignatures, where scientists have sent out biosignatures trying to see if there's any life or signs of life. And they've also done what we call technosignatures, which is trying to see if there's any advanced civilization who can pick up on the waves that we're sending out. And up until this point, we have not received anything substantial to, again, substantiate the fact that there are aliens. But I also want to say in the same breath, because we haven't received any information, it doesn't mean that they're not there. You see what I'm saying? So I want y'all to keep an open mind. So I appreciate that, Pigeon. I appreciate that comment for sure. So the real paradox. So we're looking at the real paradox. Let me pronounce the word correctly. So now let me hit you with something deeper. Have you all ever heard of the Fermi paradox? The Fermi's paradox. Have you all ever heard of the Fermi's paradox? Let me type that in the chat. Let me type that shit in the chat. No, that's not how you do it. Let me type that in the chat. While y'all are here, let me play a little bit of music while I type that in the chat for y'all. But thank you to everybody who is on the live. Feel free to hit that subscription button, y'all. We will be going live more often and talking about like crazy topics. You know what I mean? But while you're here, I'm just gonna play a song that I wrote while I type this in the chat. Da 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 da. Da. I will never, never. Oh, this is a good song. Here's a great song that I wrote. And the lights get jealous. Woo! Every move got the room so breathless. Voltage rising, can't fight the tension. You're my favorite kind of obsession. Hearts in 3D, feeling cinematic. Every touch is automatic. Got me floating on static. Baby, with your magic, you're my electric love. Shot me right through my blood. We light it up, yeah, we light it up. I tell you love, baby, you're my electric love. Turn me on, I can't get enough. Heart's beating like it's in a club. We light it up, yeah, we light it up. I tell you love, baby, you're my electric love. Sparks and fire should be at some city's burning. Yeah, all right, here we go. Every glance keeps the fire turning. Midnight feels like forever starting. In your eyes, the stars are dancing. Hearts in 3D, feeling cinematic. Love touch is automatic. Got me floating on static. Baby, with your magic. You're my electric love. Yeah, I wrote that song. That song is actually pretty nice. But have you guys ever heard of the Fermi's paradox? I wanted to write that on the chat, and I didn't want to leave it blank. So it is 50-50. We got people saying no, they've never heard of the Fermi's paradox. Some is saying yes, we've heard of the Fermi's paradox. But I will go ahead and explicate what the Fermi's paradox is. So let me read this. We got Danny saying it it it's a planter with water, but not sure if it had life. So if a planet, are you saying if a planet had water, is that an indication that it had life? Is that the question that you're asking, Danny? So I want to say a lot of people, based on the vote, have not heard of the Fermi's paradox. So the Fermi's paradox, in its simple form, is it basically asks the question: if the universe is so big and life should be common, and here are the, I want to say, here are the conditions that the Fermi's paradox is built on. If the universe is so big and life should be common, then where is everybody? A big universe, life is common. Where is everybody? Why haven't we found another life form outside of like human beings? So why haven't we seen signals? Why haven't we gotten any visits or any clear evidence of another life form out there? That's what the Fermi's paradox asks. Let me say thanks to everybody who's joining the live. Again, feel free to hit that subscription button. We will be going live very often talking about real problems, or at least some of some of these topics that I like to talk about. But if you guys have any topic that you want me to talk about, let me know. I think the next live is going to be on Area 51. I'm going to do some research on it so we can have like real statistics when it comes on to that particular topic. So the possible answers to the Fermi's paradox: life is rare, because we're saying that life should be common in a large universe. So it could be that life is not common, but life is also rare, and intelligent life is also rare. So life is rare, intelligent life is rare, or they're too far away to detect. So that's another aspect of the Fermi's paradox. Maybe these guys are too far away for us to detect any other life. You know what I mean? And that is why even when we've been sending signal to outer space, we haven't gotten any techno signature to say whether or not life is actually here. So Pigeon is saying no. Pigeon is saying no to your question, Danny. So even if water is there, water is only one aspect of what is needed to sustain life, Danny. You know what I mean? So that is only one of the multitude of things that we need to sustain life. So water is just a small aspect of the overall whole of what sustains life. So we've confirmed that life might be rare, and that is why we haven't seen any more but we haven't seen any other life forms outside of human beings. Life could be rare. Thank y'all for coming through again, y'all. Feel free to hit that subscription button. I will definitely appreciate it. I wish I could shout you out whenever you hit that subscription button, but I don't have it showing on my system. Pigeon is saying people think all life is at the exact technological level as us. It could be either they've not have radio technology or theirs are too advanced for us to. I've also thought about that idea, Pigeon. Like it could be that their technology might be so beyond ours, even if their signal is coming to us, we cannot in any way identify it because it is beyond what we are capable of at the moment. Or the reverse could be true that they are behind, and as a result, what we have, they too can't pick it up. I'm also going to introduce a third paradigm to this scenario that we're talking about. And this is from a more Christological perspective, or I want to say religious perspective. A lot of theologians who have studied this topic also have posited that one possible reason why we have not yet seen any other life form outside of human beings is as a result of the fall of Adam. Because Adam fell, we lost access to other realms out there. So that is one particular paradigm that has been posited. Because of the fall of Adam, we cannot in any way access the other realms or life forms that are out there until this sin problem is concluded. So that is also another lens to look at this argument through. You know what I mean? You might not agree with them, but you know what I mean? To each his own. It is a fair point to consider. I will actually say that. So as we go to segment 5, what scientists really think. So this is what scientists really thinks. And this is not true for all scientists. I want to say that. It's not true for all scientists. So it is 50-50 on the Fermi's paradox. Some people have heard of it, some haven't. But for those who have, oh, shit is falling, y'all. Shit. For those who have heard of the Fermi's paradox, feel free to ask me any questions about it, and I will definitely try to answer. But this is what science or scientists really thinks about extraterrestrial life form. That this might surprise a lot of y'all, but many scientists actually believe alien life probably exists somewhere. It is not confirmed, but it is statistically likely because the building blocks of life exist in space, as we also spoke about earlier. The building blocks of life exist in space. As Danny was saying, water exists across our solar system, which is another tenet that is vital to the sustenance of life. And the universe is unimaginably large. So these are the proper, I want to say, the factors that we're looking at. Building blocks of life exist outside of Earth. We've seen water in on other planets, and the universe is really large. So it is highly possible that there are other life forms out there. So the real answer isn't yes or no when it comes on to what scientists really think. It is we don't know yet. That is what science actually believes, that we don't know yet as it relates to if there is other intelligent life forms out there. They're saying that we actually don't know yet. So let me ask my audience something, for everybody that has been listening so far to this presentation. I want you to drop it in the chat right now. All right, y'all. Do you think aliens exist? If you believe that aliens exist, type yes. If you believe that they don't exist, type no. I'm gonna play some music, and I'm gonna put a panel up. Let's vote on it. Let's vote on it. Here we go. I think this is gonna be a great song while I write it. Woo! I'm painting the power of the night. I'm alive, I'm the fire, baby. Every ball that I dream, that's it. Watch the universe. Gonna have a vote, y'all. Everything I want, I'm gonna get it. Aliens exist. I'll do it. Everything I think starts to be it. But it's never seen my yes, I'm science. I'm the energy. I'm the science. Frequency, peace, and purpose. Or an MC. I don't say. Science equities. I'm the energy. I'm the energy. Watch out for what on it. Used to doubt myself. You know, celebrate. Every blessing I manifest is never low. So this is a song that I wrote, y'all. This is a very nice song, saying I'm the energy. But we're voting on it. Do you think that aliens exist? We only have one voter out of 43 people on the live. Go ahead, y'all. Let me know. Do you believe? Cast your lot. Cast your lot. Alrighty. Let me start that song over again, saying I'm the energy. Alrighty. Again, feel free to hit that subscription button. I will appreciate it if y'all do subscribe to the channel. Here we go. I deserve energy, don't lie, returns. Was right. Watch the universe, it's getting it. Everything I want, I'm gonna get it. I'm the energy. I'll do it. And everything I think starts to create. But it's never in my DNA. Aliens exist, y'all. I want you to answer the poll. If not, then I'm gonna continue. I know. So let me pause this. It's actually 1 o'clock, so I'm going to land this presentation. But if you guys did enjoy the presentation, again, feel free to hit that subscription button. As I land in closing, if aliens are real, do you think they've already visited Earth? So if aliens actually exist, do you think that they've already visited Earth? I want you to think about it. Here's the truth most people won't tell you. And I will be bold in telling you, science is not about belief, it is about evidence. All right, science is really about empirical data. So right now, there's no confirmation, there's no proof of extraterrestrial life right now, at least from the scientific community. Did you know there's space between atoms that has nothing? Definitely for sure, Vision. There's definitely space between atoms for sure. There's strong evidence that, again, it is possible that aliens exist, which means at any moment in history, everything could change. Everything could change at any moment in history, but as it relates to what we have right now, we don't have any concrete information, any concrete evidence, I would say, not information, of this particular type of life being on Earth. We don't have any. I mean, I've watched a few YouTube videos about a so-called lizard alien that was talking about where he's from and his civilization. I've heard that, but again, I'm again really skeptical as it relates to these type of information, because there's certain truth that is how do you want to say it? I don't want to say transcendental, but it is global. Certain truths are global. And I think if something like that was true, I feel that it should be on understood or accepted on a global scale. But I want to say thank you to everybody who stayed for this presentation. If there's another topic that you want to hear me talk about or research, feel free to leave it in the comment section. It is after 1. I do have work tomorrow, so I gotta sign out, y'all. I appreciate y'all so very much for coming through, y'all. Let me close off with another song that I wrote. I love information and I love music, so that's what's up, y'all. Alrighty, let me find something that is really good to close the night off. What we got? Uh, Trying to find something that's really good. Oh yeah, Hear the Party. Here's a good song. I'm out for tonight, y'all. Have a blessed night. Thank you to all the new subscribers. I do appreciate y'all. I don't have what I call like a notification telling me who subscribed to the channel, but I know that I had a few subscriptions. Reptile humans can't be possible. If so, we would have found them. That's what I say to Pigeon. That's what I say to my friend. I'm also working on. I should say this. I'm working also on a side project for those who become a member of the channel. I will be adding an incentive for y'all. So if you become a member of my channel, looking to release at least I want to say 10 songs, 10 to 5 songs, let me say, a month. And all my members who have subscribed, I will be creating for y'all like all the shit that you need in order to collect royalties. And I will basically make a profile for you guys and add you to some of these songs that I've written. That way you guys can also earn some money from the shit that I'm doing. You know what I mean? Because it's not just about me. I'm also trying to also give back to those who are supporting me. So if you guys like the idea and you're trying to earn, feel free to become a member and I will make everything for you. I will text you. You can give me a good email and then we'll create like all the royalty shit that you need in order for you to get paid. You never know. One of these songs could blow up and you could make some significant money from it. So you never know. But again, thank you to everybody that came through. We did have a good crowd tonight. We did have a good crowd tonight talking about whether or not if aliens are real. Again, if there's any other topic that you want me to discuss, feel free to drop it in the comment section. You can comment under one of my videos and I will definitely go ahead and check it out. So we have been live for 49 minutes, but I do have work early tomorrow, so I gotta sign out, y'all. So again, y'all stay blessed. Y'all stay blessed, cause tonight I'm here to party. DJ drop the beat, turning off my moral off switch, living vicariously. Woo, that's a good song. Why it's not playing?